Hey, hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we're taking a look at a programming tutorial of how to import your own samples to make sound. So these are made up of two samples I imported. So I'd like to say hello to everyone who's here in the chat. Hi Michael Nervous, hi Hubert, hi Stephen, hi John, how are you? Hello Joe, hi Colin, hi Sam. So I made a few sounds today. Let's see, go into my browser and my patch. So I made this other one here called Lo-Fi Reverb. These are from imported samples sort of thing. I did this one. There's a mixture between imported samples and also the other layer. So layer 2 is this, just a sine wave. And then layer 1. And then add that as well. So add this in layer 1, and I'll just resave that patch again. Yes. Hi Daniel. I'll show you something we wanted. I'll show you. This is so cool. So a lot of people ask me what's the difference between SynthMaster 1 and SynthMaster 2. And some people think that SynthMaster 2 is just an update of SynthMaster 1. But no, they're totally different synths. SynthMaster 2 it's like superpowers. It's a super synth. Alright, so let's just crack on. Let's just go to this and hit initial preset. And here we are with one layer and one oscillator. You know, you can go with the type here and choose like a basic addictive wavetable vector or audio in. Well, we don't really need to do that. To import our own samples, all we need to do is hit where it says sawtooth there at the top. Just tap on this and it'll go. So you can import waveforms, which is like wavetable synthesis, and then you can import samples, which is like just like using it as a sampler. Only you can it's a bit like you can have up to 4 layers of samples if you want to, or mix and match samples with any other type of synthesis you want. So it makes it super powerful. Okay, so you want to import your own wave. You can choose from internal samples here, and you'll see in user there I have a bunch of samples as well. Or you can go to import wave files, and this will take you to anywhere on your iPad you'd like to go to import your own samples. Now this is super handy. So for instance, what I have here, it says speech mail. This is actually from Daniel, Les Productions Zvon, and I'm going to pick a fairly long one here. So maybe this let's see I want one that's at least over a meg. What was 1.2 meg there? Anyway, we'll import this one. So we'll just tap on it here, and then it'll ask you where you want to put it. Well, I've got an extra folder inside my user location, but I'm just going to put it in the user location. I'm just going to hit import like that. Just hit import, and now my sample is
here. Here's something. Elderly men, you can earn extra money for Christmas. Easy work. Apply at once to the Yuletide Agency, 409 East 23rd Street.
So now I've imported my sample in there. I can then manipulate it with anything I like, with the filters, whatever.
Here.
Or
here.
bearing in mind it's a sample.
Here.
So let's go to something else. Well, that's now in my user file anyway, but I'm going to import wave files here. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go back. And I'm going to go with something from a pack by Dean, which I like to use to demonstrate this stuff. The pack is from Electronic Sounds, and it's called Reflective. Now, Dean has like hundreds of sample packs, but I'm using this one because, you know, it has everything in there. Synths, pads, effects, drums. So if we go to synth here, these are going to be our like toned sounds, and you'll see that it's best if you know, by the way, also that the key, or like, yeah, the key of the sample. So we know that these are all A samples. And let's see, I'm just going to pick one. I could pick a C, and SynthMaster will, like, by default map C to C, or it map A to C. So I'll go with something that's not, like, what's this? I don't know. There's absolutely tons of these things. Most of them are in C. There's one in D. We'll go one in D. So we'll go with this one, which is 1.5 meg. We'll import it, and I'll just import it into my user file, and there it is. Now we know that it's D. It actually tells us at the top of the sample it's D because Dean has kindly, marked it as D. So we know that it's actually, we want that to be, we know the sample is D, but we want it to play on, we want it to pitch down 2 semitones. So 1, 2. We go to pitch here, and we go set pitch, and we can do octaves. We don't want to do octaves. We want to stay in the octave we're in. So we're going to hit where it says 0 octaves, and we're going to pitch that down. Right, so I'm just going to, wait a sec. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go minus an octave and then 2 semitones. And we can check, we can hear it's off, right? So I can't see what I'm doing here. So I can't. Get fits going and stuff like that, or we can go, let's go back to our pitch again and go set pitch 0 octaves, 0 semitones, and let's pitch this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 semitones. So pitch, set pitch, no octaves. Anyway, so that's what you can tune it up like that. Also, we can choose another one. So import wave file. So this time we'll choose C to make things quicker because I want to add more than one. So acoustic guitar here. And we go import. And if we need to reset to default. Okay, cool. So we'll switch our sawtooth off, which is the default wave. And here's the samples. We'll start with this one. So let's make some adjustments to the envelope. Let's put the release time up a little. We won't go too mad because I want to add more samples. So. So let's switch off oscillator 1, go to oscillator 2, which is just a saw wave, and we'll go in here and we'll go import wave files. And we'll choose another one, maybe, I don't know, maybe this, I don't even know what they sound like, so import. I'll try another one. Now this is cool because it'll now be in my folder, like this. Look. So I'll just open up the import samples. Okay, import. And anytime you, like I said, so that's nice. That's the file we've just imported. And if we switch oscillator 1 back on now, we'll have a mixture between that and, so we can control the mix via the volume here. So nice. So now we've got 2 original samples in there. Let's see what we could do now. Let's switch on our filter. Oh, I'll tell you what I will do, I think. I'm going to go to routing, because I like to do this. And I'm going to have it in split mode. So I've got oscillator 1 going into filter 1, oscillator 2 going into filter 2. Makes more sense to me to do it that way. Then I've got more control over the tone. We also have cool controls now over each oscillator. So oscillator, we'll switch oscillator 2 off. So it's just that guitar kind of sample thing. So nothing more. That's and drift. So obviously the volume and the pitch we can control, and the detune. We'll switch the filter on. So I'm happy with that. So if I switch oscillator 1 off and switch oscillator 2 on, I'm going to switch filter 2 on, go over to filter 2 and switch it on. And now because I'm in split mode, I've got control over the tone of the second oscillator on the first layer. And now I can change the type to digital. I'll do a 24 dB slope and increase the distortion. And lower the volume. Switch oscillator 1 back on. Lower the volume till you've got a till you're happy with the mix. So now I'm going to pan oscillator 1 towards the and pan oscillator 2 the other way towards the right. Nice. But what we can also do is, say for instance, if we just listen to oscillator 2 for a moment, we can choose to increase the voice count for the oscillator, and then we can pan spread that sound. So if we choose 4 voices, it's going to get louder. Okay, so we can turn our volume down a bit more. But what we can do now, so if we go to voices for the oscillator, we can use the unison detune and the pan spread. So then bring oscillator, make the volume again a bit lower. Bring back oscillator 1. It's a bit loud, isn't it, overall? Set our master volume so we're not clipping her out. So I'm going to add some effects now to this. So first effect slot, we can add a EQ. I'm going to run some key track back off the filter as well. Okay. We can still tell we're all in tune if we bring back in layer 2, which is completely, again, totally independent. We can hear that that's in tune with what we've already got. And if you weren't in tune, you could then tune it up like we did in the other example. So, okay, so we've got some EQ. Let's run some maybe some reverb. Always nice. Increase the size. Okay, cool. Right, okay, so before I go any further, I'm going to save this. Save in a patch. So patch management. Hit save. Save preset as. And you'll see where it says bank empty. That means if I save this patch, ignore those 2 preset numbers. If I save, that means they're not assigned to any bank anywhere. You need to do is either add new bank or tap there and choose a bank that you've set up previously when you've gone add new bank. So I'm going to choose TSTR, which is my bank, and all my presets that are in there, so close that, will show up, which we've just been picking from. So I'm now going to choose a preset now, and I'm going to just call this Xylo. I'm going to call it Xylo guitar because it's like a xylophone and a guitar kind of sound. And then all we need to do is hit save here, and then it comes up there, Xylo guitar. So now this, that sound we've saved, we could go to browse now, choose like the first one we were messing with, and then go back to our Xylo guitar. And we've got our sound saved to come back to and mess with in the future if we want to. I could then share all these patches with the internet sort of thing on their cloud server. Now let's add just a little bit of kind of background reinforcement to this. Bear with me just a sec. Okay, and we're going to go to layer 2. So I'm going to turn off layer 1 entirely. So go to layer 2 and switch it on. And now it's just again back to a basic sawtooth wave. Excuse me. And instead of importing it for this particular one, what we'll do is we'll go. We can leave it on. We'll leave it on sawtooth. Let's make some adjustments to this. I'm going to run it through filter. I'm going to put an LFO onto the filter frequency just because I want some movement in the background, if you know what I mean. So, because I don't want this to be like this layer, I just want it to kind of reinforce the layer that's already there. If I held a note, it's something there in the background, you know what I mean? So we'll just pick up this LFO, or we can go with frequency add modulation, LFOs, LFO1, and now we've got an LFO running. Well, let's see what shapes we've got for our LFO. Making everything. We'll leave it on. We'll leave it on now. I'm going to make it a little less. And I'm going to... But the key here is a big chunk of reverb on the actual sound. Nice sound on its own. But I think what would be really cool with this sound is if we took our voices and give it something like 6 voices. Now this is going to be really loud, so and then go to the voices. Added the unison detune for 6 voices of stacked oscillators. So, and we're only using oscillator 1. And okay. So now, if we go back to layer 1 and bring that in, if you've got headphones on, this will just sound awesome. If you play it like, actually, I didn't even go to layer 2. I didn't even switch it off a sec. So, sorry. That sound, I'm gonna add a little bit of release. And maybe a little bit of attack. Alright, that sounds cool. Don't think I need to add any more effects or another oscillator layer. If we switch layer 1 back on, and then just I'll just turn the microphone down and just have a play. Great, because on layer 2 the LFO is running so slowly. Actually, let's adjust the phase of that as well, so it kind of reaches a peak kind of in the middle. I'll leave it like that. Actually, that's quite nice, adding a little bit of noise to the waveform. And then just quickly go back to layer 1. This is a little bit too loud in the mix. Okay, switch layer 2 back on, switch oscillator 1 back on. So we're using 3 oscillators now, 2 samples, and that sawtooth waveform. Well, that sounds better. Very proggy. So that's a really good sound. We'll just save this, save, and then save preset. Yes, I would like to overwrite that preset. So that's done. That's done. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Adds that nice kind of sound, kind of sub-bassy kind of thing. So, okay, let's do another. Let's make an arpeggio this time. So again, we're gonna go with import wave files. I'm gonna choose something in key of C so it's easier. I don't know what these sound like. I'm not that familiar with them without listening to. What's this? Gaming a glassy lead. Oh. H high ho plug. Well, this might be good for a thing. So yeah, we'll import the wave, import, and there you go. Thanks, Stephen. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Anyone else fancy super chatting, please do, or subscribing to the channel, or becoming a patron. Right, this is really nice. Good sound to start with. Good sound to start with, right? So that's the sound of the sample. Okay, we're gonna go to our ARP sequencer for to start with. I'm gonna make this bigger. So at the moment we've got have we got 16 steps? I think I'm just going to use the arpeggiator, not program it in. Well, I kind of guess I could just program it in. Hang on a minute, let me go to record mode. So, okay, so let's turn that off, switch it on, and I'll have to go in run mode. I'm just going to stick with arpeggiating this for now. So I'll just go up and down. So switch it on. I'm going to press hold. So why aren't I holding? Let's get out of here. Oh, hang on. Done here. Steps. So hopefully now the next time it comes round, I had it on 18 steps. So cool thing, right? Again, we need to filter that. Let's go to effects. So here's a cool trick when using effects with sequences. If we use a delay, switch, make sure sync is switched on, and you'll see that they will change to 1/4. If you use dotted notes or triplets, it sounds really, really cool with a sequence because it runs slightly off normal timing. So you can hear that now. There is a delay on there, but it's just kind of, it's getting lost in it because it's exactly the same. It's falling on each quarter note. So if we just tap on here and set this one to 1/8 dot, and then set this one to 1/4 dot, and then set it to pong, you get this really cool kind of delays going on. Okay, now we can go and add maybe some phaser. Bit more distortion, I think. I'm on filter 2, so filter 1. Oh, that would be nice as well. So a really, really, very, very slow LFO on the filter. It's going to sound really smooth. So if we set the filter about there, and we go to our LFOs, there's no assignments for LFO 1, so another way to assign an LFO is just to pick it up and drop it over the destination. Lower the amount and the speed. So trigger mode, so set to mono, so it glides through the wave. Which is really nice with an arpeggiated. Otherwise, if we're re-triggering all the time, it's just going to re-trigger at the beginning and we're not really going to get the effect. So let's set that to mono. So oscillator 2 will do exactly the same thing, only on a saw wave. Which actually sounds really nice, but I think I'd rather have this on a square. And maybe what would be nice if we pitched up that saw by a fifth, so by 7 semitones, so we get a fifth. So on the second oscillator, add set pitch, 0 octaves for let's pan it. In fact, let's modulate. Oh, I know. Let's modulate the position of the pan for this square wave. So let's turn off oscillator 1. So remember, this is pitched up 7 semitones. So, and let's modulate the pan position of that with another LFO. So we've got this LFO in mono mode, controlling the filter sweep. Okay. And then we're going to choose another LFO, so LFO2, and it's got no targets at the moment. So we'll select this, add modulation, LFOs, LFO2. And now LFO2, it's running very fast. And again, it's running in poly. We don't want it to run in poly, remember. We need to switch this now to basically mono mode, so it's going to sweep it even while the arpeggio is playing instead of re-triggering every time it plays. Again, we need this to be really, really slow. And set the phase to about central, I guess, would be cool. That's really nice. Go bipolar. So that's much better. On bipolar, because we're getting a true... Oh, thank you, Subtronic. Thank you very much. We're getting a sweep between left and right properly now, so that's right. Again, we maybe could... I wonder what it sounded like if we added some noise into the waveform. Quite nice, really. Okay, so what does this sound like now if we bring back in oscillator 1? Let's put some notes in. What's in... Oh. That's really cool, isn't it? I like that. So really nice. Okay. So what? Let's see. What? Just for fun, let's just save this anyway, just in case. So save preset as, and I'll put it into my folder, and then call it. I don't know. What can I call this? Quick. Someone give me a name for the arpeggio. Quick. Better be a sensible one as well. I'm not taking any stupid suggestions. God, you're all too slow. Come on. Echo arp. Right. Okay. Cool beans. Thanks, Colin. Echo arp. Okay. So we're going to save this now. Save. Echo arp. So just for a minute, let's switch. So what I'm going to do is where it says, I'm going to go to where it says layer, and in keyboard zone now I'm going to just pull this out to about maybe C4, something like that, and then drag the bottom part up. So at the top of the keyboard, yeah, no, you can't see it. At the top of the keyboard, I've got and then below C4, so I can just fix there. So C4 is a cutoff point, and then below C4 we have nothing at all, which is good. Let's just go into layer 2 and quickly switch layer 1 off a sec. So layer 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sub bass, but I want to use a sine wave. But that's actually really nice just as it is. It doesn't need to do much really, but I do want it to have some release, and I also do want it to be filtered also want to drive some. I know that's really loud, so hang on a sec. And then I'm going to add some there and also some reverb in. And I know it's not really noticeable, but when I bring back in layer 1, and don't forget now, I need to set my layer for layer 1. I can just grab this and set it anywhere below C4 would be cool now. So about there, so and then nothing above that. So when I get in, I've turned it down, that's why. Right, so so now I can play the bass end with this, which might actually be better with some other kind of waveform. I think I'm gonna maybe I could even import another one. Cheesy synth bell might do it actually. So yeah, we'll just import it into the user folder. Yeah, that might be nicer actually for the ARP. So cool. So we've got like a basic kind of thing with the, oh, it's time. Look, I'm going to save this again anyway. I mean, that wasn't as good as the first one, I don't think, but it was still representative of how to use your own waveforms with some splits as well using, that's another waveform import we've just done. We can mix better. I think we can definitely afford to turn that up in the mix. So yeah, I like that actually. So I'll just save that again, just so again the volumes. So yeah, so there you go, guys. There's how you import your own. Just go to import wave files, and you can import them from anywhere that you've got them on your iPad. And it's really nice if you want to like import pianos and stuff, because you know you can basically get it to do like a piano sound. And then you, what's nice is you can use all of SynthMaster's massive amounts of modulation, routings, and all the rest of it to manipulate the sound even further. Anyway, thank you so much. If you haven't struck the like, strike it now, please. Anyway, I'm going to browse through some of my presets. That this is the one we did in the last tutorial for the additive synthesis. Just that really lovely lo-fi thing. I'm going to close the microphone, play a few of these. Thanks, Stephen, as well, for the super chat. Bless you. Most appreciated, mate. It really is. And I will see you all later. If I'm not back tomorrow, I'll be back on Thursday. So we'll see you all. I will probably be back tomorrow. But anyway. I'll see you all later. Ta-ra.